Hey everyone, hope you're having a nice day. I just want to show you the colors that I made. 15 different colors, and I'll show you the painting that I did. I used a different technique, a different recipe, something new I haven't done yet. First of all, I made a different medium, put it in a canning jar here. This is 2 parts Floetrol, 1 part Elmer's Glue All, and 1 part water. And this is the medium I used. I made very small batches for my one painting. I used 1/8 cup of this medium to 3 1/2 teaspoons of paint. And what I want to try and do is take the thick pasty paint and it's still wet here. Put it on a measure stick. I want to put the 3 1/2 teaspoons on a measure stick, like where it would, and I'm going to mark it where it would measure if I'm squeezing it out of a squeeze bottle. Or these big jugs here, these are 1/2 gallons. I had to dip the stick in to scoop it out. But what I want to do is put these paints in the smaller bottles that have the squeeze hole, so that when I squeeze them out, I'll be able to put like a log of it to a certain measure on the stick, and that would measure my 3 1/2 teaspoons for making small batches. These cups hold 4 ounces. They don't leak. I bought the ones that actually specified tight-fitting lids. These are food storage containers I bought on Amazon. They work awesome. This recipe here for the new medium, there's some problems with it, I think. Maybe they're not that bad. I'll have to see when my painting's completely dry. But I'm going to go over some photos that I took during the drying process, and I think I'm going to stop torching. I think torching some of these colors actually wreck them, especially if you're using Elmer's Glue All in your pouring medium. So this is all experimentation so far. When I get it a little bit more perfected, I'll be doing some videos on actually mixing the paints. My next thing that I'm going to be working on is the actual recipe to make each color. I'm going to do a color swatch and write down the recipe, how I made that color. I'll have some more videos, instructional videos coming up. I want to be able to perfect these instructional videos and get them as professional as possible. Here's the close-up of the painting that I just made with this medium mixture, and I went over this very fast with a torch. I didn't want to stay on and torch it as much as I normally do, and you can see some crazing going on. The little tiny fractures, little cracks, and these little white spots are where I torched. I torched over, like over here on the left-hand upper corner, those white spots. Not these here. These here are normal, but a cluster like shown here up on the left-hand side. That's what I'm talking about. I see a lot of that using the glue and the medium, and these little fractures. Now, in the past, I have done acrylic paintings like scenery and things where I would use glue as a medium for this crazing effect, where it would show the entire painting being like having a crazed finish like that. Crackle, not quite crackle paint, but it's a different texture than crackle paint. but you can see where I torched. So if I'm going to use this medium recipe again, I am not going to torch it and see if that makes a difference. Here's a full shot of the painting I did, and you can see that spot right here. Let me look here some more. I think this is where actually I started out. It's the most evident spot that has that effect. And I'm waiting for it to be completely dry so I can check this out. You know, this is all experiment right now. Here's another close-up. This one's a little blurry. Of course, I'm recording and there's my dogs. They gotta sound off. You see all the crazing in here? Right in through here. All the little spotting. Here's some more. Let's go back to that other. You can see a lot of it in here. It just looks like little black fractures, which, you know, does add to the effect if you're going for that. Here's some more. You can see it around the edge here. When I put these little spiky things in, it's not quite flowing with the paint because the surface had already set and had just a slight skin over it from drying. It was pretty much after I poured it that it was already starting to dry. Look at the crazing going on down here. And, you know, I suppose in places like this, it could make this seem dimensional because it adds like a shadowing, and it is very tiny. So, but here in this point here, you can see the rough, jagged edges that were already starting to produce. It's not a nice flow of paint like the other ridges would be from when the paint was still real fluid, like this side over here. These are already starting to break up and craze, and we've got a rough edge, so it's kind of on the drying already. This is kind of a weird image. There's a little elephant up here. There's, like I said, there's a lot of weird things going on in these paintings. Yeah, so you can tell where the paint was already starting to dry and it didn't flow very smooth with my skewer. And having the blues and the warm tones, I wanted to have a good contrast, and I wanted to see how the colors like that would contrast together. Now in this photo, you can see pock marks. You've got some pock marks going on where there were bigger bubbles that popped. But I do like how the colors kind of blend and mesh together with this formula. That I do like a lot. There we have the red blood cell effect. That looks like it's kind of ill with a white count taking over. All right. These here are nice and fluid and flowing. Very nice. So the paint wasn't drying as much in this area yet when I ran through it with the skewer. And we got some nice flowing trundles going on there. I see some crazing along this edge. And I really think that's from the torch. So what I did, I put the hair serum, coconut milk hair serum, inside the cup and wiped the inside of the cup down. I took 3 cups and I put all of the paint in those 3 cups, divided it all up. The middle cup having the blue tones. Now I had mixed all these colors. So what I did, I put the warmer tones on each end. And I flipped the cups over, spilling the paint out. And that agitates it to form the cells when you've got the dimethicone or silicone, whatever you're using. Agitating the paint is what creates the cells. I like the way the colors blend together in some of these cells. You can see the rainbow. It's not quite dry, but I really like that effect. We've got some deep park marks over here. Here's a lot of crazing going on over here. I tried to run through the golds and yellows more with the torch to bring out some of the blacks, the veining that was in there. This here is some of the runoff, and it kind of looks like a, I don't know what, blowing something out of his mouth, and all of these little spots here. And this looks like the younger one. Yeah, some of the paint runoff from these paintings is rather interesting. I think it's more interesting than the painting themselves. And then I'm also working on a color chart specifically for Sax paint, because every paint formula is a little bit different. And a lot of people don't know how to work with, the thick pasty paints. They're used to buying the Art Deco and the like liquidy paints, and which those are good for pouring too. They're not as vibrant. I think the Sax paints, if I was to rate them for being a vibrant paint with a lot of pigment, it's not quality. It's not museum quality for painting, but it's not that bad either. It's just a matter of perfecting your recipe, your pour, your do's, your don'ts. So that's what I'm working on. And this is actually my first flip cup. I practiced on this piece because the next piece that I do is actually going to be a round piece that I'm going to be commissioning for my nephew. He's going to be, it's an old record I'm going to be painting on, and he's going to be making clocks. So you see, it's kind of a vibrant paint. It's not that bad. It's not that expensive. And I don't know, I think it's livable. For the better pieces, the commissions that I got, those I'm going to have to use a better quality paint. Probably the best, because those items are going to be for sale. Where here on these pieces, I'm just experimenting. Kind of looks like steak. And there's always weird images in this type of paint technique. You can always see faces and weird objects. And there's always something different. Every time you look at it, you find something different. I don't really care for this one here on the left. Now, I did a different technique when I flipped this cup. This cup I slid all the way up to the top, brought it back down, and then flipped it. And these two, I just brought up a little bit and then flipped it. Putting silicone, or not silicone, dimethicone, the coconut milk, inside of the cup and wiping the inside of the cup down was nice because when I put the cup upside down on the canvas, all the paint slid down. There was no paint stuck in the cup. I actually punctured the bottom of the cup to break the vacuum seal. I put a coat of black paint on first, so I had a board that was nice and lubricated, and as soon as I made the hole in the cup, that cup wanted to travel on that wet paint. So this pour here on the left was just a little bit different than these two on the right. So there you have it. That's what's going on here. I've got some other paintings I'm doing. This is my first dabble with abstract, and it's different. And then I can put them in the filters of my software and make that. And then make thumbnails for my YouTube videos. So that's it, you guys. I'm going to be coming out with a lot more videos about painting. That's where I want to be. That's what I want to do. I'm really loving this. And I think it's really good therapy to relax and relieve stress. And it's addicting. So take care. Have a nice day or night.